What's up guys, if you're like me, you've been thinking about getting the SmallRig RC220B, it's a mouthful, look no further. This light is great, it's gonna get the job done, it's bright, it does all the things that you think it would do. But if you wanna know kind of my experience with it, what I think about it, and somebody who's recently purchased it, if it's a good purchase, then stick around and we'll talk about that. If you're looking for something that's cheap, has temperature control, comes in a nice carrying case, like look no further. Seriously, just go check out, you'll be happy with the purchase. For me, kind of some things that I like about it, and my first impression was, wow, it's a little bigger than I expected it to be. And that's might be because I've never used a Cob light before, and so the overall size is relatively large compared to like an LED panel that I used to use. I'm actually using it right now. Something that is to take note of as well is, does it have a lot of fan noise? In my experience, I can't really hear anything that makes any kind of difference when I'm shooting. There is a slight fan noise when it gets a little bit warm, but it won't be something that's going to ruin your shoot. Another thing you might hear is that the handle on the side here is like hard to get used to. For me, it does feel a little bit cheap, like it could break, but I've used it multiple times, kind of mounting it high and low, and I've had no issues with it so far. So I do wish that this was metal, but aside of that, like, you know, it's compared to other lights, this one is very cheap and it gets the job done. And really, like, if you're getting this light, you want the temperature control, and from my experiences, it works great. Those are a couple things I like about it, and some things that maybe I wish could be improved or that I don't like about it. Number one is that though it is extremely bright and works great for almost every scenario, it's not a daylight. So what that means is you're not gonna be able to really compete with the sun too much. There are some scenarios where you're gonna want something a little bit stronger if you're shooting in broad daylight and you're trying to keep your exposure right for a background and light a subject when the sun is the competition. And in those scenarios, you might want something a little bit brighter, something like the 600D. And that's really it for things I don't like. Honestly, there's one of those purchases that once you get, you literally think to yourself, like, why didn't I get this sooner? And that's been the case with me every time I pull it out. It's a light that I love using. It makes everything look great, and is one of the best purchases I've had of 2023. So overall, if you're a filmmaker, aspiring YouTuber, video maker, whatever you call yourself, like this is an item that I think is a good thing to have in your bag, but it's not a must-have. I've used the LED light for a long time. I use natural light whenever I can, and don't let it stop you from getting out there and shooting. But if you're at a place in your videography career where you feel like you're trying to bump it up to the next level, shooting talking heads, interviews, and things like that, then this is a great purchase, and I'd recommend it. I'll give it a 5 out of 5. And so yeah, that's all I got for you guys in this one. See you in the next one. Bye. Oh, cool, okay.